ESSR funds are supposed to help, was federal money coming in to help compensate for the educational deficit that we had during COVID. And we had seen last month I'm just using the Waverly, the middle schools rather, math data. And it listed out by color. White, 51% raw pass rates, black 18%, Hispanic 40%. You know, if we ever have something that's systemic racism, it's right there. And I just refuse to believe that the general population of our black kids are less intelligent, or less capable, or have less capacity than the general population of our white kids. I also don't think Madisonians are any less capable than the rest of the nation. And yet our testing is showing that. And yet where is the financial priorities? Playgrounds, capital improvements. But you lose a life, you lose a family, you lose a generation. You lose 3rd and 4th grade, you lose 6th and 7th grade, you lose 8th and 9th grade. You've lost that learning for that child for when they become a young adult and an adult. On and on and on. I would just seriously encourage you to reorder your priorities and also change the way you list the rates. Either have it all children or break it up by family composition, which actually, if you look at educational data, that's the greatest determinant of educational success. So let's not perpetuate systemic racism right here, which is what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments about ESSR funding? Seeing none, this closes the public hearing on ESSR funding. The next section on our agenda for tonight is business approval. So the very first item that we'd like to look at is policy BDB, having to do with special meetings. I believe we've had some information come in. So Mr. Sheets, this was your policy.
Yes, the school hired lawyer is looking at it. He has a couple questions about it, so I'm just going to make a motion to table this until next meeting.
Can I have a second for that?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded that we table policy BDB, special meetings, until our next meeting. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. Motion carries. The next business approval we have that we have been looking at for a couple of months and have had an opportunity to take a look at the draft policy concerning instructional materials with sexually explicit content. This policy is the one that has to do with instructional materials, not library books, instructional materials. And the expectation from our governor is that we will have something to him by, I believe it's January 1. We could go as long as December to approve it, but I think we've crafted something that we all think is pretty good and meets all the criteria that he asked us to take a look at. So, I know you guys have seen this before, because we have presented this material before. And we've had a discussion about it before as well. So, could I have a motion to approve this policy concerning instructional materials with sexually explicit content?
Can I say something real quick about it, just to kind of assure the public real quickly about this and a couple of topics about it. I just want to note that this is the same, basically the same, very same policy, draft policy we showed last month. It did go through legal review, and there were some clarity of language and grammatical things that good catches and things. He was more clear than I was, but there's no change really. So I want to sort of let's go on with that legal review. Another thing I want to say is just this is really a preventative thing. You know, there's been I looked really hard at the English curriculum and talked to a lot of people about it. And I fully believe and trust So it's really a preventative thing. It is certainly out there, I've seen it out there in other curriculums, and so it's really trying to stop that from coming in. That's the whole purpose of this. And it does comply with the Virginia DOE model policy to identify them, and we just make it stronger by saying we're gonna remove that content and not allow it in. And that's the whole thrust of the policy. So I make a motion that we vote on this policy now to approve this policy.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
We moved and seconded that we approve the draft policy concerning the instructional materials with sexually explicit content. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. The third item under business approval is a request that we move the January 9th, 2023 school board meeting to Thursday, January the 12th, 2023, in order for our superintendent and our director of finance to attend the VASS-VASBO conference in Richmond. And this is the one that they discuss some things about the budget and also educational hot topics. So they would ask that we move our meeting day. Is there any discussion about this, question about it? Okay. May I have a motion that we approve moving our January board meeting date to Thursday, January 12th, 2023? All those, may I have a motion first?
I'll make a motion to approve to move the January 9th to the January 12th.
Could I have a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded that we move our January regular meeting to Thursday, January 12th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. So we move on to reports from school board members, our student representative, and our superintendent. So, Ms. Collier, would you like to start?
Think about it for a second. I attended the PrEP board meeting. PrEP is Piedmont Regional Education Program. We had a good board meeting. Not a whole lot of action items, but more informational items around the programs and the Ivy Creek School that serves many of the counties around us. So, and I missed the walkthrough. Unfortunately, I wasn't here. So that's all I have.
Mr. Sheep?
So the CIP meeting, where we talked about the Waverly HVAC system and then of course the school board office roof. And it's hard to believe that putting a roof on the school board office is almost $500,000. It's hard to believe. Put the bad stuff aside. We went the walkthrough through the middle school and high school, and I really liked, I talked to Mrs. Winham, and I really liked the fact that the tech class were building buildings and selling them. I mean, that's a win-win. That's awesome stuff. They're learning. It's good stuff. I really appreciate that. And I just want to echo again, I know Ms. Dotson's not here, but the stuff that they're doing there, the playground area, the planter boxes and stuff, I just think that's great. And I'm not kidding about having chickens and stuff there. I mean, there's like a homesteading movement, and it's getting cool again. Not cool in temperature, but cool as in it's fun. And kids are learning where their food comes from, and I think it's good all the way around, and I want to support that as much as possible.
Mr. Wingate?
Thank you. Appreciate the walkthrough of the middle school and high school. Thank you for that opportunity, and commend you, Ms. Winham, for the awesome basketball courts and stuff. It's beautiful back there, and it's a really nice job. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for making it open to the public too, which is so great after hours. It's so nice for the community. And I did also have a chance to walk through the locker room, talk to the superintendent and Ms. Winham about it. I do hope we're able to find some money and et cetera to help the football locker room down on the football field. It's I played there almost 30 years ago, and it hasn't changed one bit. And so it certainly could use some upgrading, so I hope we can find some way to do that. And one idea is using our CTE folks to build lockers or things like that. You know, it's a great experience for them. So we do that. And I did miss the gifted and talented thing due to work, but I reviewed the slide out, and I think it's awesome that we are focused on trying to challenge everybody. You know, so oftentimes I think we focus on the people who need the most help, and it's awesome, we should. It's also good to challenge everybody, and so I think we're doing that through that program, and so I think that's good, and commend everybody for doing that. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Wingate is wrong. These locker rooms are not the same. The JV side doesn't even have lockers. All their stuff is in piles on the floor. So yeah, we're working together to come up with plans for that. And although I won't be able to see the end of that, I do want to say congratulate Mr. Marks on his election to the seat here. And as a Mountaineer, there's something you never kind of get over. I'm going to still be supporting Madison Public Schools. I have way too much invested in it with 4 more kids that still have to make it through. I just wanted to congratulate Greg, and I did vote for your meeting to change on in January. I hope that was good. But it is nice to know that, you know, that I feel safe with Greg taking over. He's going to do an amazing job, and I just wish him the best of luck.
Mr. Reese?
Thank you. There we go. Every time. First of all, I wanted to thank the community for your support of the football team. Our season ended last week, and seeing everybody at, whether it's the home games or the away games, turning up and showing support, that really made not only the players feel good, but the coaches too. I want to say that we all appreciate that. Thank you all for showing up. Wednesday is the Virginia School Board Association's Student Representative Conference, so I'll be attending that on Wednesday. And the Powder Puff football game is on Friday, so I encourage you all to show up and support our students. Go Seniors. But funds for that go to prom, so I encourage you all to show up and come support. Other than that, I don't think there are any major events going on in the near future, but that's what we got going on for now. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I guess I can say something about that too. Thursday night, I got my acceptance letter to the Virginia Military Institute. So, I sent in some scholarship stuff for that, and hopefully I will get some stuff back from them soon.
Listen to your
Thank you.
NCOs.
Sorry?
Listen to your NCOs.
No problem. Thank you all very much.
Congratulations. That's quite an honor to go there, and I'm sure you'll represent Madison extremely well. And I'll go ahead and then we'll come to the superintendent last, save most important for last. I just wanted to say as well, I was at the walkthrough in the high school and the middle school. And in the middle school, I was paired with Mr. Sheeds, and we had the opportunity to walk around and look in different classrooms. And the one classroom that I don't know that was necessarily on the schedule, but it was one that we just kind of wandered into. And it was the class that had our disabled children in it. And just walking in there and seeing the hard work that the teachers are putting into these students, and also their use of technology and how they're using that to communicate with something that we don't get the opportunity to see. So I just wanted to mention that was not necessarily an eye-opener, but sometimes a group of children that don't get as much attention And there are other opportunities. If you, is it Kathy Mayford? Mayford? Is that it? Medford? I know there's opportunities for different teams of students in different, with the different schools that have competition. They have basketball games and they have field days and those kinds of things as well. So it did my heart good to see how much care and love and education that these kids were receiving from our wonderful teachers. You want to add to that?
I just want to echo that, and I met Charlie.
Oh,
And
yeah,
Charlie was
Charlie.
talking to me with his computer, and I was asking questions, and he was answering through the computer, and it touched my heart.
So Charlie met Charlie, and that was quite an experience, I think, for all of us. Superintendent Graham?
I actually did not have anything else to add tonight. I've given so much, but thank you and congratulations to Carter again. I think you'll represent Madison well.
So the last thing on our agenda is if I could have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Could I have a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn the meeting for November. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.